Good, technically morning. It is 11:56, so technically morning.
That's just in time right there for it. So we are here on SG4 with the lower bracket, the admin's bracket of the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament here on site at Speed Gaming Live in Herndon, Virginia. I am DarkmanEX, joined with Saracen, our current winner's bracket winner.
It's craziness.
You did it on the on-site. You're doing it here now.
You know that.
Yeah.
It's all just craziness to me. This is not where I expected to be in this bracket. But, you know, perhaps my Luck Vampires strats are just going to continue on.
What we have here today is, of course, standard dodgeball draft 1-2-1 between the players for our Speed Gaming Live flags. Fizzle went Black Mage, then Luffy went Black Belt White Mage, and then Luffy or Fizzle came back with another Black Mage. And I think we can already tell that the White Mage on Fizzle's side is not going to last very long.
So worth noting, we do have our blurses here. The Black Mage coming in with plus Warp, plus 20 HP, and not a Malice, as it's only -1 hit per level. Oh no!
Oh no, what's the Black Mage going to do? Not be able to hit things.
Our White Mage coming in with plus 800 gold, plus 5 luck, -1 MDef per level. Not bad.
Not great, but it's definitely a situation where if you're deciding you're going to kill the White Mage eventually, you kill the White Mage. And with short Topher, White Mages aren't as essential.
Yep.
Yeah.
And our Black Belts have Elemental Magic, Resist Death, Time, Ice, but no bracelets.
Well, if you grind the Black Belt, then it doesn't matter if they have a bracelet or not. Lightning 2 at the starting shop for Black.
Acceptable.
It's an AoE. And you know the Black Mage, the Black Belt Mage has some elemental magic as well, so...
That was Wood Armor plus 5. That's actually good for the Black Belt. Like, that provides reasonable absorb. You're not losing a lot of evasion for it.
Early,
It's super cheap.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get the Black Belt off the ground, it's just helpful. I didn't see what the white magic was.
I'm not sure Fizzle checked it. Invis 2, apparently.
Invis 2? Okay.
I mean, yay. You get, if your White Mage gets any levels at the early game, you've got a few shots of it, and then when they get into Topher, you might get a shot or two off before they die.
I like how the Black Mage hat on Luffy's sprites is background color.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. It's Fizzle was saying it was a cloak of invisibility he's not wearing right.
Ah, yes. That would explain it.
Fizzle having absolutely no luck running from things despite having 2 Black Mages.
You know, sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah.
Nothing but gold in these Toph checks, which is fine, but frustrating.
I get walking this out, but that's one of those situations where I'm like, do I really want to walk out 400 gold? I might just reset it.
Well, we have free warp charges.
True.
So
True. I'm not even sure it's worth that.
So with those warp charges, I would still do it. Just any amount of gold that you find in those chests is useful in terms of getting your potential shop item in Canaria or Provoca. It helps with spells. Now, Luffy may have just completely memory holed the warp. It turns out that while Black Belt grinds are where Seed memory goes to die, perhaps Draft is where Blur's memory goes to die. We got a slab and a crown by the looks of it, which is, you know, something.
On the subject of warping versus resetting, let me just counterpoint. You save a couple seconds if you just reset.
It's true, but money is helpful. Being able to afford your early game consumables and, again, potential shop items is really helpful. That's part of the reason why the Matoya dip, as we walk towards Provoca, is very popular.
Which is what we're going to be doing right now because we didn't have anything pointing us in the other direction.
Yeah, and, you know, certainly Provoca is the, I would say, meta decision. Fizzle just going to dive Provoca.
He doesn't like double dipping Matoya if he can help it. He did this in the Seed last night as well that he barely won. Great race.
Yeah.
Great race.
Go watch that VOD.
Yeah.
Also from SG4, so it was just last night.
Yeah, he's gonna fight the pirates first, get the money, get the levels, and then he'll go buy his magic afterwards.
So how nice is it? All right,
Hey.
First off, convenience.
Thank
Second
you.
off, the Black Belt actually has something to do here because of that elemental magic.
He gets to participate. The participation trophy.
Yeah. Like, this was a complete and total win as far as Fizzle was concerned.
Everything he wanted to accomplish, he's good with, and we will never visit a clinic again if we can help it.
Yep. All right.
TNT to take us over to Dwarves, which we were kind of expecting to do anyway. Oops.
All right. Now, one thing of note is those tents are just a little bit more expensive than you like to see. I saw a pro ring and nothing exciting from Matoya's cave. The big nuke.
Well, there's our magic that needs taken care of. We are now good.
Yeah.
That's the one magic shop where I might consider buying more than one spell, though. Ice 3, while normally beaten by nuke in all respects, just in case you find a water pack, it's the one time where, like, something actually weak to ice will take more damage from the ice than the nuke. So,
yeah,
they're on the same level. You're not really going to use the Ice 3 normally, but at the same time, maybe.
But this is Fizzle with a slight advantage getting over towards Dwarf. With that Matoya play just not paying out.
And that's the reason why it's a coin flip whether or not it will. I mean, there's going to be a loose item early. We haven't found the loose item yet, but we know it's going to be early because it's always early in the way the logic works for these flag sets. And if it's not, I'll be shocked. I'm not going to bet on it,
right?
But I'll be shocked. But there you go.
The laziest dwarf. Wow.
I'm just going to put this over here and forget it. I'm memory hole.
Hooray!
And an herb. I mean, you've got basically a nice linear path right around the west side of the Circle C, because you got the crown, you got the herb. Eventually you go to Marsh unless you're Fizzle and you don't want to. There's our canal, so if we get shipped soon, then Fizzle may bail out of the Circle C and leave Marsh for later for when he really absolutely has to go there.
I'm surprised that Fizzle didn't just reset out of that encounter.
Cure 4 level 2? Okay.
Fizzle got ambushed by arachnids casting fire at him, and he was just like, he just saved. He didn't want to reset that?
I mean, I reset, sure, but at the same time, you got knowledge from Marsh Cave now about what the first thing the spiders will do.
Which I guess
now he resets.
Yeah. Multiple encounters very quickly there. Not worth engaging.
It doesn't save going in here, but he's got the firepower to actually take out Astos with that nuke.
That's a canoe from Astos, is what I saw.
That's a canoe?
Oh. Is it a hangry canoe? So this is opening up quickly.
Yes. And now we have sages available to us. So again, I'm not necessarily thinking. I mean, he's got the firepower. Okay, he's going. He's going. I don't debate the point. I always go to Marsh, but I've seen him fade Marsh when he has other options available. So if he decided not to go there, would not have blamed him.
It's bit him a few times.
It has. It has. And as someone has pointed out by me, we have warp on the Black Mages. So it's like if you get down to the bottom of Marsh, you can just warp right back out.
Yep.
The
only thing that could make the Marsh play better is if you also had the key and could check those for loose. But we're also at that point where it's early enough where there are enough locations left to check where maybe that second loose isn't required. And we saw that in a couple of races so far this tournament as well.
Yep. Well, with the black belt, there's a lot of stuff in the pool you just don't care about.
Right.
You don't. If airship happens early, you don't need to worry about that ruby. All 3 pieces of gear don't matter to the black belt. The tail doesn't matter to the black belt. So there's a lot of stuff that can be like end of a chain, and if the chain comes off of a loose, you can ignore all of that, and you don't care. We got a Zeus bonk.
That's a good reason for Fizzle to warp that out.
Yeah. And he has it on the black belt, so black belt has more to do.
I mean, you run out of 2 charges of elemental magic pretty quick. Luffy turning in the herb, you're going to get the ship out of that, which that is very interesting.
It is.
And I'm very curious where he's going to take that, because we now have a lot of world open to us. That is fast and warp in the black magic shop at level 3.
It's nice. So, knowing Luffy the way I do, I've raced him a lot. He's a good friend. He and I are both in agreement on the always bet on ordeals. And with the canoe and the ship and availability out of the inner sea because of the canal, ordeals is on the table, and it would not surprise me if one of the first places he decides to go is ordeals.
That was a pretty expensive life 2 at level 4.
Yeah.
Lit 3 at level 4 as well. We're not really caring about those elemental magics, though. The nuke is too
scary.
good.
Yeah, nuke is scary. I might buy it if I walk past it, but we're getting to the point with that fast and with the nuke that I'm caring less and less about the magic shops at this point.
Pretty much junk in the armor shop as far as we're concerned. That is a seafood party platter. That is.
I will take that. With the spells that we have, I will take that. Now, normally I would run from everything here because this is scary. But with the spells that we have, I will take this.
All right, we get enough turn order with nukes that this is fine. Taking
Good
it once is fine. The XP is going to be good. We get to level 12 across the board.
Yeah, and the power bunk. So now we don't even worry about if we find temper or not.
Yes, I mean we would prefer temper.
My only point is, if I was real, he got ambushed.
That's very scary. But all right,
You know what?
we don't care now.
Yeah, no, we don't care about the power bunk.
We
don't care about the power bunk.
Oh, apparently we care about the power. No, we don't care about the power bunk. We're gonna figure this out,
He
everybody.
can't hear us. He's got headphones on that are blasting sound into him, so he can't hear us. But we don't care about the power bunk.
Yeah, our competitors on stage have white noise generating headphones on over their earbuds. So
I recognize I'm loud. They can't hear us.
they might hear bits and pieces, but it won't be recognizable. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
I was on stage while you were doing comms, and I could hear occasional bits and laughter especially, but yeah, the words don't come through.
I'm pretty sure we were loud enough with the hooray he heard us.
Yes, Fizzle laughed on camera when
he
that
did.
happened. So that rod from the sages brings us to one of my least favorite things about this flag set, and it's that Earth seems to just have a large number of loose items for whatever reason, and Earth sucks to check everything.
Yeah.
So
No, you go to Earth eventually because you know you have to, and there's probably something in there, and even more likely there's probably the second loose. And you sigh.
Yep. and, you know, every chest on third floor that you're checking, you're just like, please, just end me. And unfortunately, it is not that merciful. We have seen multiple races this tournament where the second loose item was in Earth Cave, 4th floor, so you can't even tell which was the loose and which was the incentive because it's a random incentive.
Yep.
And
my race with Papa Dukes, the power bonk loose was sitting right next to the incentive, or vice versa, chest to chest. Yeah.
And it feels terrible.
It does feel terrible.
Now,
no ordeals play from Luffy, which surprises me. I always bet ordeal. Now, he's got Rod. Game is pointing him towards Rod. If there's any logic in this seed, and there's always a little logic, but not a lot, game is saying go this way. I'd still do ordeals.
And that seems to be the direction Fizzle's headed right now.
Always bet on ordeals.
Luffy might be thinking, let's check the Hall of Giants and
A grind? Yeah.
a grind if possible. If not possible, just push through with the nukes.
You got the nukes. Nukes are good. Only thing that worries me is we saw in Marsh Cave from Fizzle, Luffy doesn't know this yet, but we saw in Marsh Cave from Fizzle that the various enemies that are going to be showing up here as well are very ambush happy.
Mm-hmm.
So a Marsh dive is going to look real bad for that punch mage.
So we've got an Agama tile, and it has about 220 hit points.
So that's your grind.
We're camping.
That's your grind.
Well, we don't know what is going on besides that, but
No, that's it. And there's mummies, but mummies are there to try and kill things, and then, or he's fighting some.
nah, we're gonna take them. Just it's not like
There we go.
terrible, but they should have run from them.
I
It's
mean,
fine.
I think when I land on the Agama, I don't even worry about if there's an eye behind. An Agama like this, you're just going to take.
Right,
Yeah.
and I mean it's so thin. So
Yeah.
far, we've seen a punch from it.
Yeah.
Now, we have only seen it take one action so far. That's a thing too.
Yeah.
Fizzle has Thunder Zombles, who also have Ruse. That's a little bit painful. We find a Wizard tile, also painful.
Oh no, I've been slowed. Whatever will I do? Oh, entrance. That's a reset.
Oh yeah. That's a pile of nope there.
Now, the Zombles are going to continue being in this dungeon, and that's a little scary.
Yep. They're not super all over the place, which is nice. I mean, they're like on the way to Lefane, We can encounter manip around those if we want.
I won't deny I was really hoping the second you said they're not super plentiful that the first encounter he saw would be one, just to irony. Yeah.
The commentator curse can occasionally
yeah.
fail.
I feel like the game was not with us on the comedy aspect of that.
Yeah. Sometimes that's just how that is.
Thankfully, Fizzle knows the way through the first half of this dungeon, at least.
Yep. But we are getting that set up on Luffy's side.
Upside, downside, Luffy is going to have an edge on grinding because he's found this and he's just going to do it. Flip side, however, is the fact that with a couple more key items under his belt, Fizzle will have a slight advantage when it comes to
that was a Thunder Agama. And it just wiped Luffy.
Never mind on that. That actually hurts. That's 3 minutes time loss?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Welp.
Sorry, Luffy.
Perhaps a ribbon is in the future.
One of the two of us discussed how, the Agama might have a skill set, and that wasn't me. So I didn't curse this.
I mean, I don't even consider it a curse. I just said, hey, this is a thing that we haven't seen yet. We have a sample size of one action.
Thunder. Agama had thunder.
That is a floater for Fizzle in Ordeals.
This is why you always bet on Ordeals. This, right here. That's what I'm talking about.
So it's funny to say, I was mentioning this last night to some people. It seems like Ordeals have kind of fallen out of the meta, at least for this flag set. And
I get that. And,
it's just because of loose placement and prioritization of dungeons.
Yep.
And I mean, I've had a lot of inner sea floaters so far, so that's been kind of an interesting thing where, the ship is just kind of wherever. And
we mean the floating rock, not like a corpse.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different floater. But no, I agree with you. Like, it feels bad having to go to Ordeals when you're in the late game, and all you find there is, like, a power bonk or a Vorpal -4, because it's a single spot, and you can just kind of access it when you can access pretty much everything else in the world. So.
Yeah, and I think there's a stronger draw towards Ordeals, for me at least, when you're accessing it ship in canoe instead of floater.
Yep.
And also if you have the Oxial, because we have our northern docks on, you can proximity route all that together.
So these peeds are just obnoxiously chunky.
So they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
They ambushed and were hitting for like 50-something as well. So
Fizzle was just not pleased about that at all.
It's bad when you have to save one tile away from the no step zone.
Just in case. Oh, wow. So he's now here in Crescent, and he'll get the Sage Stick.
Yep.
Yep.
The old crowbar.
I like to think of it as a golf club. You just smash against a plate.
I figure we're prying it up.
Woman, thank you.
We're not talking to her? Okay. There's our temper for very cheap. But also level 6, which is unfortunate. Needing level 16 for magic slots on that is tough.
I mean, they may get close to that, but they're probably not going to get a ton of charges over that.
So Fizzle now getting that rod, and warp a Rooney Dooney.
Now, the thing that could balance Luffy out here is if Fizzle goes over and does the same Agama grind and then has a wipe.
Yep.
And
I think Fizzle has a few things to do, though, because he's got Sarda to check, he's got a slab to translate and check.
He may translate and check that. He really hates that walk.
He does.
He does.
But I also didn't check how the hard reset encounter looked. So if the hard reset encounter makes sense, okay, we're checking. We're checking danger zone.
Danger zone. What is the damage range on Thunder?
Big McLarge huge. I think it goes up to 320.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, we're in it.
Yep, we're in it.
Oh, he saw the Thunder immediately?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
and I see
did.
his eyes blinking, and he's like,
Yeah, there was some skepticism
there
in that
was some
look.
skepticism right there. Now he's checking the mummies, because, yeah.
Oh.
moments. That's a clip-worthy moment right there. Just. So that is definitely advantage Fizzle because he doesn't have the he got a minute on that whole spot to check it, which most people are going to spend checking it. So he doesn't lose the extra couple minutes that Luffy does there.
Oh, that is the loot down on Earth 4.
So you have to check everything as we were discussing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a nightmare tile. That is not a viable tile. Hey, guess what? It's that same tile. It's the left half of the room and the right half of the room.
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
This is because I can see Fizzle playing live, and so this raises a question that normally I wouldn't think to ask, which is, where are you on the quick resetting? Do you do it on your controller, or do you do it on a keyboard?
I was actually just thinking of mentioning that. I have it bound to the shoulder buttons on my controller.
That's what I do, yeah.
L is hard, R is soft.
I have a double trigger, so it's like back is soft and front is hard, but same thing, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Sir Linkalot had an unfortunate controller-related reset.
I think we all do that once in a while.
Yeah, having it happen during a live race is no good.
Yeah, and I understand doing it on keyboard because it's farther away, especially if you're playing on controller. But at the same time, I'm watching, and there's like a second or so of reaching for the keyboard that you lose. So
and we saw last night a 2-second differential, and that
some of that's from that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out in Fizzle's favor.
He still finished.
So.
Yeah, no. I don't argue that point. I'm just like, you can see a little time loss, and I question not him. He's playing great, plays better than I do, but I question like the difference between.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that question, and I think that it's a very reasonable question to ask. It is going to come down to runner comfort and preference more than anything. But, yeah, Chanigan saying in chat that he's hit those shoulder buttons way too often.
Yep, we all do it.
I am known for fidgeting a bit during races. You've seen me on camera a bit. I'm scratching my head. I move my hands off the controller a lot, so that is a concern for me. But I'm also using a controller that is a lot more like a PlayStation 1 controller. I'm using an 8-bito, and so the shoulder buttons are far enough away. Now, what I actually get really concerned about is I tend to play with my hands closer to my lap, and that means that the shoulder buttons are very near to the edge of the table.
Yeah, I've done that too. Yeah, I have an Xbox One controller, and I play with like 2 fingers hovering over the side the whole time, and you just kind of get used to just like not vibrating those fingers until you need them.
I keep my fingers away from the shoulder buttons until I'm going to, but it's certainly not the reach of...
Yeah, no. I got to save the frames because I'm slower than everyone else.
Ale commenting that I'm using this commentary opportunity to scout my opponents. I will say this again. I've said it before. If I am in commentary talking about my opponents, I'm not actually scouting them because my brain doesn't have the capacity to do that.
No.
I'm focused on talking to you guys.
Yep.
So, that's just a thing.
We do have Lich. I was waiting for something interesting to talk about, so we do have Lich. Lich is gone. It's went about exactly what you expect for a Lich fight. Oh, yeah, okay, bye.
Yep.
But I want to note we were just waiting for something interesting to come up because Luffy was in a part of the dungeon that wasn't doing anything, and Fizzle was doing what Luffy had already done. So we were just waiting.
I will also say, though, Ale, that both of these fine competitors in front of us are in the lower bracket because of me. So
they've already scouted you.
Yeah,
they could just go back and watch the races with you. So
right.
Yeah.
And
every one of your races is online.
Exactly. I have not had a single race here that was not on the stage, which is really funny. We were talking early on about getting into the schedule because there's a lot going on, and it's just luck of the draw, I guess. But
Fizzle taking the nightmares, which I understand. He's just trying to get some extra quick levels early because. I don't think he's going to go back for those Agamas, but he does definitely want some quick experience while he's going around here.
You don't go back to those Agamas without a ribbon.
No.
And even then, it's not a great choice.
No. Because you're still, it'll cut it by half, a quarter? What's the ribbon do?
So you're going to resist, so you're not going to have the critical hit version of it against you. So basically, you're going to get the MDEF check.
The quarter to half, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe the resistance also halves that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So in that range. Chanigan will probably confirm. Ale, everyone else who knows this game better than I do.
All right.
As you read chat.
Ale asking, where was the floater? That was in Ordeals. Luffy hasn't gone there because Luffy's been in here.
Luffy's going there now.
Hey!
The always been an Ordeals play, which, I mean, so long run, I don't think either runner has really gained or lost much over the other, just because by grace of the fact that they were both doing the dungeon the other one did, and aside from floater, allowing Fizzle to do a couple quick checks that Luffy is going to do after. Speed between the two, because we have Speedboat on, isn't all that different. Fizzle didn't do much outside of what Luffy is going to be doing now. Like, I don't feel like there's been much of a time loss outside that sucky Agama play.
Yeah, that drained a little bit out of Luffy, but
mentally and time-wise.
Yes. The emotional damage is a serious consideration.
Roll your charisma check.
Yeah. I mean, the entirety of Earth is emotional damage as you're checking all these chests.
I have to do all of this?
Even Earth TFC?
Can you put some lava tiles in here just to make it a little easier? Lava Earth, that's a flag we need.
Ooh.
Oh. Right? Is that like
I
down into the Earth's core for hot magma?
Lava and sea.
Oh, man, that'd be nice. Volcanic. We should just allow for, like, random volcanic dungeon.
All right. That's...
That needs to go on the list.
Yep, that's going in the dev chat.
I'm going to put that in the dev chat right now, in fact.
There's a lich laid out on the floor. Purple carpet is officially on the floor. And we are both at one orb. Luffy about to get that floater. Fizzle now positioning the mages to go do this Agama grind without a ribbon. He had them positioned, and then there was a reset. We're apparently believing in the power of MDEF on this black belt, which, do I recall correctly? No, it was no bracelets on the black belt. There was an MDEF penalty somewhere, but it wasn't there.
It was the white mage.
The white mage.
Who's dead anyway.
Yeah,
So who cares? Who cares?
Who cares?
No one cares. Okay, I got that submitted because that's too good an idea.
It is.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
I mean, we've already got it in Ice and Volcano. Why can't we have it everywhere else?
Well, we just map it out like we did when we did the random vampire attack. Just slap volcano tiles in, especially the deeper you get into a dungeon.
We're going to start seeing a flag meta that includes death on lava tiles.
Yeah, that'd be great. But the thing I think you have to balance out is then non-volcanic volcano.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Randomized volcano.
Yeah, so sometimes it can have lava and sometimes it can't. And if actually, you can even do it per floor.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think that's an idea that's going to have some merit. Coming in next fall league.
I mean, if you can convince our devs to do it in that time frame. I mean, it is a nice time frame. Like, we just finished with Fall League, a week ago?
Yeah.
So,
well, from experience with doing the random vampire attack, it's not difficult for someone to program in the maps if they have the map to work off of. So I could design the map for that and then let them handle programming it. So
yeah.
Pink Puff did the vampire attacks based on the maps that I gave them, and that was great. So, same thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Same thing. All credit to Pink Puff, who also did the deep dungeon option in our game, giving us one more mode of play to make our randomizer that much deeper.
All right, required Lefane, as that is our chime.
Yep. That also puts him 2 items from Go mode.
That's really big.
That's huge. It's huge. With the Oxale, I kind of feel like that's our next play. No, wait, there's no... Krakenside loose or just Waterfall?
It would be funny if it was Waterfall like we had last night, where the floater was just north of that tile.
Yep. No one likes doing east side Sea Shrine, but west side Sea Shrine on the way down to Kraken is a good way to grab some quick chests on your way down.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time lost to do
No.
that. It's
Yeah.
you know, very reasonable.
Yeah.
We do have to question if the second loose is needed still.
Have we found the shop item yet?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, he's got the airship. He can find it. Have not found it. Confirmed by
Okay.
Ike here, sitting next to me over here off camera.
So, Fizzle continuing. The Agama also casts Ruse? What is this?
Well, it didn't seem to help him.
No, not so much. You know, once you're up to the 6-hit range, the Black Belt is going to one-shot the Agama at this point pretty consistently. It only had like 220 hit points.
He's ambushing it now as well.
Yeah.
And it has a spell list that's on top of its skill list, and it likes to punch. I kind of feel like at the level he's at now, the grind has become marginally safe.
I would say it is reasonably safe because he also has more max hit points.
Yeah, max hit points, more MDef. It's working out well for him.
Yeah. So Luffy is chasing down the shop item. And we have a crystal for 32,522. That wiped out Luffy's money at this point, which is really another funny thing. You know, we talk sometimes about how money stops mattering at a certain point in Seeds, but you know, if you were to be taking a Tyro or T-Rex based grind, there's not a lot of gold in the dinosaurs' pockets, it turns out, and so even affording a shop item can be challenging sometimes.
Now, thing is, let's say Luffy finds a T-Rex or a Tyro right off like power cycle, pretty quick in. He has to walk it, he has to save, he has to reset it.
Yep.
Fizzle, this is not as lucrative, and he has to heal once in a while. But I still feel like Fizzle has the faster grind at this point.
Unless we find a tile like the eye, or you know, something safe for Luffy, he's a little behind right now.
He is. And it's not any fault of his. The Agama decided to just be kind of rude.
Well, I think one of the deciding factors there is Fizzle came in post ordeals. He had a bunch of levels under his belt. Even though he had eaten that thunder, he was able to survive on all the characters.
Yep.
And I mean, that's even a little bit of confidence right there, right? He had enough max HP to survive a thunder, but not a whole heck of a lot more than that when he came in originally at like 17. But Luffy was going in there at like 12 and had 200-something hit points.
That's a tile.
That is a tile that Luffy has just found.
I should know that because zombie Ds aren't normally in that dungeon. But
right, you know, comms are a magical place where a lot of memories of mechanics go. That's a Vorpal +4 from our robot friend.
So if Fizzle decides to fade Waterfall, it'll work out well for him. At the same time, though, this is very likely the grind for Luffy at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. They don't have a ton of health. They'll die to a single black belt punch, and he's got the levels for them to start dying to a single black belt punch.
Yep. So it does look like it's getting ready to set up on that. Also, even with the Black Mage up front, we just had an ambush or a first strike, and so that means that these are on the first strike happy side of everything.
Yep. So we're into 2 grinds here, which means that we have a lot of stuff not related to this game that we can talk about because we'll be here for a little while.
Fizzle's not that far from done.
Sure,
but yeah.
But while we're talking about here, let's do some little updates. If you like what you see here, like to see more, come to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, where you can find the randomizer as well as links to our communities, wiki, resources, everything you need to play Final Fantasy Randomizer. We have a bunch of stuff coming up in the future to keep people engaged. We did just finish Fall League. Those are coming up online on our YouTube channel for you to watch. We have the Winter Marathon in support of Musk, the Burn Children's Fund from, you know the name of the hospital.
MUSC is the Medical University of South Carolina, and it works in partnership with the South Carolina firefighters.
That's why I keep them around. And so we've raised $5,000 from last year, which, as far as I know, is actually closer to 5,500, somewhere around there, which helped to send 11 kids off to their summer camp they do so they can be around other kids who have had to deal with burns and so forth and be in a social situation, help them with their healing process. It's a a great thing that they do. So we have that coming up December 8th through the 10th, and we hope all of you guys will come and watch that over on our Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch channel. And then, of course, Winter Tournament's coming up, our Duckling program is coming up, and I can wrap up now because he's done with his grind and we can move on.
Yeah, just one little quick shout-out on the marathon. We are not just Final Fantasy Randomizer there. While we are hosting it, we got all sorts of things coming in. Time Spinner, Crystallis,
Castlevania, Zelda. We have a Zelda overnight block we're doing. We have a Chrono Trigger Jets of Time overnight block that we're doing. Ori came back for this year for another round from ZRE. It's Ray. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I just do ZRE. But yeah, no. We support everything. It's the Rando Marathon presented by us. So if it's a randomizer, and actually we have a couple that aren't, like I think Dr. Mario was submitted, and we have returning favorites, Super Mario RPG, Armageddon, great ROM hack. Come watch. It's a lot of fun. Fizzle's going to get his chime.
Yeah, Fizzle's getting the chime. Luffy is positioning items on his characters so that they can appropriately hold up items and show them off to the zombie dragons.
Oh my god, my phone is blowing up.
Kaboom. It's like we're playing, is it Wind Waker that has the cannonball game or the battleship game?
It's going to be Wind Waker because that's the one with the waters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sploosh.
Hey, let's put it into Link to the Past. Why not?
Hey.
Yeah, cannonballs and Link
Sploosh.
Excuse me.
Kaboom. This is the best part of watching that run. All right, Luffy has the black mages down. The white mage still, unfortunately, standing here, but is going to show off some opal armor, and Luffy's continuing to punch before these dragons go. The dragon's also, like, missing the white mage. It's, you know...
Come on, dragon, work with us here. We're trying to... we don't need levels on the white mage.
I mean, the white mage having the MDF penalty is kind of a big deal. Come on, dragons.
It did hit him for like 114.
Yeah, but 129 to go.
Oh, didn't kill it. So thank you, Luffy, for not killing the thing. Hey!
Hey!
Let's give a round of applause for that.
Nah, neither one of them has declared victory yet. They're not going to get confused about that.
No.
We've seen the fists raised.
Plus, Fizzle knows I'll clap for anything. People be clapping somewhere else. Yeah, woo!
There's a lot of action going on throughout the room here as well.
The room is full.
We've got Super Metroid visible here. There's stuff coming up on other channels.
We had Ocarina over there at the other TV that I can see. That just ended recently.
Yeah, that just ended recently. That, you know, always great when you get to see the Twin Rova fight. That's never anybody's favorite dungeon, but it is required in their flag set.
So the Zombie Ds have over 285 health. I haven't been paying attention the whole time to see exactly how much they have, but I do know that sometimes the black belt only punches for in the high 200s and they're not dying to one hit. So that sucks a little.
They're going to go down just fine quick as we're 27, I think, on Luffy's black belt. So realistically, not fine. All right, 29. We're golden.
We're getting there.
In 3 levels, the single punch will be fine. We've got 8 hits coming.
No, it's slowing him down a little right now was my only point.
Yeah. But if you're making that up in terms of not taking thunders to the face, I think that you probably make up that time. And when you have the double encounter versus
You're making so much, yeah.
Yeah, the screen wipes are such a big deal. Fizzle's disappointment incoming. There's a little smirk behind that beard.
Yep. And reset.
Yep.
But he saved right out of town, which was smart. That saves him some steps.
That saves him all of the time of reaching over.
Yeah. Maybe even then some.
Yeah, so I think and then some is the answer.
So he's going in.
This is a waterfall side check?
He is.
We're worried about loose at this point. All right, so what haven't we done? We have not done ice, which is still incentivized.
Still in play, but no one likes doing ice.
Right. Luffy has a crystal, and that was the shop item here.
Yeah.
Fizzle should have the money to buy that, so
It's marked off on him.
Okay, it's marked off now. It wasn't marked off on one of the sides, and I was confused.
It's fine. We got caught up. Not big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We'll blame technology.
we have a little bit of stuff to check there, and you know, if you have crystal to key to cube, that's go mode, right?
Yeah.
But the fear here is, you know, what if we find the incentivized ribbon and the tail, and suddenly the loose is in play? And, you know,
Yeah.
how funny would it be if the ruby was hiding behind the cube? You know, that sort of thing.
Which we absolutely don't need at this point.
Right.
Well,
The ruby is only required if the cube comes before the key and we don't find the loose.
ruby is only required if somehow
The loose is in Titan,
it's in Titans at this point. Yes.
which would be hilarious.
Now, to note here, checking those 3 boxes, and Edgeworth mapped it out at one point, time-wise. It is a little faster if your warp is readily available to warp back to the stairs, in, out, and then walk around that way.
Good man, Fizzle. Bubble
Gilder?
Soda Company salutes you for this. That is the loose cube. Oh, baby. Fizzle's brain has to feel just gigantic right now, like swelling out of the skull.
Yeah,
That
that
is
was great.
definitely
He
not.
proved us wrong.
Yeah.
He got to carbonate bubbles and get a cube out of it. So
Yeah.
So now he knows that everything else that's there, incentive-wise, is in the locations it should be, and one way or another he's going to get. I would assume we turn in Crystal first
Yeah.
before, just to be on the safe side.
I 100% would
Yeah.
turn in that crystal to see if we get the key out of that. Then I would be checking the Sky random
Yeah,
incentive.
because if you can skip opening all those boxes in Sky,
Now,
yeah.
actually, hold on.
what?
Do you do ice because you have the warp charges? No?
No.
Because I'm thinking about the walk of ice versus the walk of checking Sky chests.
No.
It does suck.
No. I still don't. I mean, yes, you only have to check the one chest, but at the same time, let's say you check ice and it's not there, and you could have gone to Sky, gotten a dungeon out of the way from one of the fiends, and found the incentive there. I think the lure of Tia being there along with it, even if you have to spend a few minutes checking some extra boxes, I think it's too good.
I can follow that logic.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I look at our position here of
Yeah.
the Black Mages have, you know, basically unlimited warp charges because it was level 3.
Well, that makes Sky actually easier to explore as well, though.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
true.
The CC's Gambit, the 6-pack, and the 4-pack, you can warp off of each of those. The worst floor is the second floor.
Yep.
So
Well, everybody hates the second floor.
everyone has second floor. And I mean, you can do the same warp trick for the first floor, and it works almost as well there, too.
So Luffy now headed in the direction of Sea Shrine, and I got to be honest, I don't like the odds here of Luffy checking for that loose cube.
No, most of us check Krakenside first, and then we have a strong debate with ourselves about whether or not it's even worth it to go back in.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're getting a restock on the heals, maybe a restock on houses. Yep, there we go. Warp out real quick, use a house, and we're going to go in. Meanwhile, Fizzle has lit that water orb. So 2 orbs to 1.
Sorry, I had to debate with myself. Someone just brought in donuts to the check-in desk, and I'm like, is commentary worth it to me anymore? I was like, but donuts.
I mean,
They're Krispy Kremes, too, so, I mean, donuts.
I don't know.
I like Krispy Kreme.
All right, so here is that crystal check. And Fizzle knows there's nothing worth checking in here. That gives us a bottle.
bottle.
Well, you know, that conveniently routes right back towards...
Right back to Sky. Yep. So if it's nothing, and it's not a very long check. That's the nice thing about bottle is you just park right out front of Gaia, you turn it in, and then you walk right back out again.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I like this one.
And if this is the key, then that
You're
saves
golden. You're done.
all that time.
And having already seen the power bonk, if this is the key, then we know that it's
A ribbon.
ribbon.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, yeah, we've already seen power bonk and we saw Vorpal.
It's,
Oh, well, at least we have the answer.
oh, well, we also haven't seen the ruby.
Oh.
Which Yeah.
It can't be Ruby and it can't be Tail. No, it could be either of those here.
Ice.
It could be either of those here.
Ice is still on the table, and that is the concern. We are committing to saving one Black Mage. Now, Luffy is checking all the crack inside boxes, which is expected.
It's expected. You do it because you're here and you're looking for the loose. And there is no fault to doing this at all, even though we know where the loose is now for us. Like, this is what you do.
So, I'm kind of tempted to chalk up Fizzle's decision to do mermaids as what is the goofy thing I'm going to do against an opponent that is scary.
Yeah, no, I agree with that play.
And yeah, it's a differentiator. It's one that is not likely to be seen on Luffy's side unless we're still committing to the loose hunt.
Ooh.
These cremating ghosts are a little bit spooky on Luffy's side.
I saw, what was it, in the race I had with Papa Dukes? It was ghost punching for 250 just base because they rolled up and they had nuke.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, game, I already don't like these.
But why, though?
I'm just like, gross. Thanks, game.
All right.
Now, he's not warping, but I would warp on these just to save the steps.
Again, we have third-level charges with warp if he bought the spell.
Yeah, we have a ton of warp.
Otherwise, we are sitting on just the 4 charges baseline at level 8 because both of our Black Mages came with that.
Not going to class change for that black shirt. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Rip.
Womp womp. You were hoping for the blessing the blessing that lets you equip shirts. That's a no. Do you do third floor first? Fizzle?
We'll not know because it happened at the junction. This encounter happened.
And
we're going.
Nope.
We're going to 2.
I always check third floor first. I know I lose a few steps that way, but the chest density is there.
I think a lot of people like to choose a side and go down it and then go to third floor. The lack of density here is yeah.
I bank full density. I may lose steps, but I will just not. I will skip both sides because usually the play is it's on first floor, it's on third floor.
Yep. I mean, we're talking about a total of 10 chests on this floor, and they all suck.
Across 6 rooms, it's
as opposed to first floor where it's 9 chests in 2 rooms, and then the Bane Sword room that has ironically had the incentive way more than we'd like.
Fizzle doing the full 2 play.
Wow.
Warp back, doing it again. Is it faster to warp back? And then I guess it kind of is.
It does save you steps.
Because then you just go straight down. Second ribbon.
Okay. The non-incentivized ribbon.
As someone who doesn't like to check this floor at all and then comes back to it like and goes counterclockwise around, I never think about it that way. My route is different.
Yeah, I usually complete it as a counterclockwise circle myself, so...
Right eye. We always shout wrong eye.
I know.
I feel like we should shout right eye.
It's funny because I don't understand that particular community meme. I get that the wrong eye is the wrong eye because it's the Phantom.
It's the one we don't want, yeah.
But it seems like it's a movie reference or something that I just
I don't know if I know no reference about it at all besides the fact that it's the wrong one, so.
Chat isn't correcting me yet, so that's the important part.
If it is a movie meme, they'll share it with both of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's the key.
Okay.
See, so I would have been right.
You would have.
I just want to justify my own existence.
That is go mode for Fizzle.
Yep. And I was going right, down.
So
we will not be checking from him, at least, what's in Canaria.
So I do have to point out a very unfortunate.
Yes.
It appears that Luffy did not go to the mermaid floor. And the loose fee memes will continue.
So he's going to do key, and then he'll follow key, and then he's going to hang his head and go back to assuming he gets that far.
So he will not have access to Sky.
Oh.
He will perhaps do a full clear of Volcano, and by then Fizzle will be very done.
Will be very done.
So my suspicion is that this is basically, unless there is a major change in strategy real quick, and this looks...
Not that I can blame him for it. Checking East Side Sky sucks, or East Side Sea sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him for it. yes, you're in the area. Yes, you justify doing it because you're in the area. But it's at the same time, if you've got incentives around, you don't want to check anything else. I get it. I get it.
Yep.
Right steak.
Hooray! It'll make some delicious barbecue like we had last night.
I won't.
So,
Yeah. Apparently, this is Luffy's standard play.
yeah.
Yeah, fade right side. So, Fizzle going in here. Fizzle going to have the fastest time possible in Volcano.
Yep. 0 boxes checked
Uh-huh.
is a very nice way to go about
Lovely.
things. So, a Zap Wraiths coming in and taking out both of the Black Mages on Luffy's side.
Well, there's no warp for you there now.
The White Mage, I believe, has life. Okay, so, there's something
that's fine,
there.
man. Who thinks to buy spells at level 6?
Right? I think Luffy made note of the fade and was like, I'm just going to get this. And also has the life 2 at 4.
Who buys spells at level 4?
Level 4 is the last level I
That's the
usually
last
buy
level I'll
spells.
buy. I just felt like I had to continue the meme, that's all.
So, the one thing that I will say, from an out-of-game perspective is Luffy did not have a hotel room for tonight. He has work in the morning.
He's
so
not throwing.
He's not throwing. He's not throwing, but he's probably going to feel pretty okay about this.
He'll feel like he did his thing. He got 3rd place, and he gets to go home.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a heck of a run all through the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Nothing to feel bad about. The one thing I was thinking about this before, when we do single elimination bracket, we have to do a bronze medal match because we don't know who 3rd place is. Now, we don't always do it, but if we want to know who 3rd place is, we'd have to do a bronze medal match. Double elimination automatically takes care of that in the lower bracket.
Yep.
We know who 3rd place is. I kind of like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
We don't have to make people play a game to be like, well, you lost, but let's see how much you lost by.
Right.
Yeah. No, totally cool.
All right, so Fizzle in to Topher at about 50 minutes even. Hi, Lich. Hey.
Oh, wow.
Hey. What is this nonsense? I know it's like 170% HP cap on the bosses.
But still, go away.
I mean, it's 500 times 1.7 is the max, which
I don't want to have to temper
850?
you to get rid of you
Yeah.
in one turn.
I think that's
Well,
850
there's
is the
our
top end.
Lich.
Yeah.
She died in one turn.
Oh, good. That's the one that is like the underestimated roadblock.
Scary Carry.
Yeah. Goodbye, Kraken. It looked like there was a fast that came out first, which is great.
Temper. It was just a temper, but it was enough.
Yeah.
Tia
all
doesn't do much. Temper, fast. Oh,
Oh,
well.
this is a dead
Squish.
dragon.
Very
Kaboom.
squish.
Kaboom!
We'll see you next Tuesday, Tia. That's where you've been punched to. Ooh, that's from another group.
It is. There's a lot of noise coming from other groups.
Punch.
As we got lots of stuff.
16 damage. Another punch like that. And, I mean, Cass can be up to what, like 5 thou? 4 thou?
1.7.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
Here we go.
34.
So let them chat for a second, then wander on over here, and we'll do interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to split to make them have the center of the,
Yeah, that's good. Good call. Let's do that.
which makes this chord like super awkward for them to step over, or at least for Luffy to step over. So yeah, definitely GG's on this one. This
GG's.
is
That was not rubbing it into Luffy. It was all down to routing, and if they'd routed differently, they'd been closer. But this was a bit of a stomp this time around.
it's just that loose placement
Yep.
is tricky.
And this is the problem I've had with loose placement in the past, and it's why I usually discourage too loose. I like all loose, but too loose tends to encourage a gamble, and then if you gamble wrong, it feels bad.
True story.
Yeah, so. Come on in, boys. Oh, I'm caught. Yep.
Hello.
Hello. Oh,
Lowering my head to make sure that the cord's not going to trip up Luffy here.
Hi.
GG's, folks.
Thanks, guys. So,
Thoughts?
why'd you give me black belt?
Because like it was always going to be that way.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like I figured if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And, you know, it is what it is. And if the second loose kills me and it's on the right side, I'm going to be in trouble. And it was.
Yeah. So that loose placement.
Yeah.
First one came early. I mean, laziest dwarf you're ever going to see.
Right.
I'm going to put it in this closet over here and then forget about it. You guys will be fine, right?
I
Can't get up. But then second one in Mermaid side, so you got to carbonate bubbles. I see Luffy shaking his head.
I deserve that. I mean, I should have known better by who's sitting next to me. I should have thought I'm going to go there no matter what. But I'm like, nah, I'm not doing right side.
It wasn't in Bubbles' room, if that makes you feel any better. It was
Slightly.
2 down and 1 right.
Slightly better.
But yeah, we did still get a carbonation in Bubbles Soda Company. Thanks you for
Yay.
your service, Fizzle.
Yeah, Bubbles just dove out of the way as I was.
Yeah, I know. Saw.
No, don't.
And I thought it's just like, no. Should I just keep? No. No, they gave me the hooray earlier, so Saracen gets a carbonate.
we noticed you heard us because we were loud enough.
Yeah.
Hooray!
The terrifying thing about black belts is that there are one of 2 game states. You either find the eye grind, or you spend the entire race terrified that your opponent found the eye grind.
Yep.
But when I saw Agama's first time into Earthgate, they had Thunder. And it's just like, I can't quite do this. Well, at first it was just like, well, if they roll up on health, like this just is not happening. But I came back there and was just like, I'm close enough to 21. Let's give this a whirl and see what happens. And they went down to like a 250 damage thing.
Yeah, I think they had
It's
less than
just like,
220.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, if I just live long enough to get to 21, it's fine. And then once I get to 21, it's just like, okay, now the Agama just has to Thunder once, and I no longer have Black Mages. And then for like 20 fights, he's just like, hey, I got Ruse. Have you seen Ruse?
Yeah, poor Luffy got lured in because the Agamas were like, I'll just play coy
Yeah.
and do whatever.
Yeah.
You'll get like 3 minutes in, and then I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big thunder there.
Wrecked your day. I saw your face fall a little at
Yeah,
that
I
one.
was like, oh, I see the thunder. I'm like, just let the black belt survive. They don't have much HP. Let me just get. No.
Unfortunate.
C'est la vie.
Any other thoughts, guys?
I mean, this is a lot of fun. This is my second time here. I plan on coming back again next year. Speed Gaming puts on an amazing thing. Great to hang out with friends. Great to be here and just, play the game. We got to meet Dad yesterday, which was really cool.
And Troper was here.
Yeah.
So
Yay!
that was pretty special. And it's just been a lot of fun. And I look forward to this. And it's an honor, Fizzle. Thank you for the good game. Good luck later on tonight. Saracen's been putting in work. And, have fun tonight.
GG Luffy, it is always fun to race you because you always keep me on my toes, especially when you hand me black belts. You know I hate, you hand me black belt white mage, and you know I hate those. But but I kid. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So thank you for that, and thank you for everyone at Speed Gaming for making all of this possible to give us a space so I can show up and look professional and do dumb things.
So we've got your next match, the finals, the grand finals.
Yep.
You and Saracen,
Yep.
who's also here with us.
Yep.
That will be at 9 o'clock on SG2. What are you guys doing to prepare for it?
Please no black belt.
I make no promises on that front because I think they're the optimal melee in these flags. So
I hate to say it, but I kind of think he's right with the fact that the swords can roll down to -5.
and malices existing.
Yeah.
Fighter all the way, baby.
We'll see what happens because the blurses are a big impact on that
Yeah.
decision. But here's the problem is Fizzle is used to shenanigans, and it doesn't matter what party you give him. Well, he may not like something. It's not that he's not proficient with it. He's going to perform, and we've seen that as he's he's had opponents try to throw trash at him, and he's just been like, no, you haven't gone trashy enough. It's
You merely
time.
adopted the trash. Born in it, molded by it.
So we've seen Fizzle take 2 matches that way between double stuff and oops all melee.
Yep.
And that's I got to be on my A game. So
Well, GG's, Luffy. Sorry to see you go.
That's okay. This was fun.
Now you get to go home and sleep.
I do. I got an hour and 40-minute drive. I'm going to get on the road pretty soon. But thank you, everybody, for everything. This is great. See you all next year. See
Round
you
of
in the
applause for
Discord.
third place, Luffy. And so 9 o'clock again here on Speed Gaming 2. Not Speed Gaming 4 like we're on right now. Speed Gaming 2.
Yeah, they're on Speed Gaming.
Yeah,
too.
over there.
Yeah.
That's like literally just down the hallway.
Yeah.
And then I believe there's a good chance we may actually close this whole thing out depending upon timing. So,
Yeah.
especially if you guys manage to push it to game 3. So push it to game 3.
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do, right?
Good luck tonight.
We'll give it a whirl.
All right, Chanigan's saying, so 1 black belt, 3 white mages. How do you think I'm going to get either 2 white mages or a black belt and a white mage drafted by Fizzle?
How does that work when we only pick 2, Chanigan?
Spoiler warning, you're not getting 2 white mages or a black belt. Don't even care what the blurses are. It's not happening.
Yep.
Now, I will say, if you guys want to stretch it out, technically we don't have rules posted for the live event, so the online rules are still applying, and map edits are allowed. And other alternate flags, you guys could screw around with this if you really want to for the finals.
Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Come on. I could have made this so much
You
more
could
fun.
have read the wiki.
That's fair. But I don't read, man.
So we'll see you guys there, and then once again, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Come hang out with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.